Welcome everybody to another episode of Providence Lucha Talk. This is Luisito.
Aguila.
And we're back, finally. I know our schedule's been crazy. Work, school, and everything going on, but we're finally here and trying to catch up all things wrestling. It should be interesting today. It's gonna be a good show.
And as you guys know, you could continue to support us on our social media, as well as our YouTube, the Instagram, the audio content when we're able to do a full episode. But other than that, also thank you guys for, being supportive in our Facebook page and Instagram with what we've been doing. So, that's we're gonna keep trying for 2021 for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so let's begin, I guess, with the big show that happened last Sunday, War Games.
War Games, yeah.
It was interesting. I know we did our predictions. We were off, but I feel like some of the stuff, it wasn't like a swerve or nothing, but there was some stuff that I was just like, okay, some of the stuff makes sense, but I appreciate the setup. I know you like a good beginning, good middle, good end. I think this pay-per-view showed it for us. They had a good beginning. They started with a War Game, then filler, sort of. Then they had another War Games match at the end, which was good. Which was
balanced.
The match, I think the card was good. I think the first one they had, it was the Women's War Games. It was Team Shotzi against Team Shotzi against Candice LeRae. Team Candice LeRae.
Oh man, what a left field on that one, because like my pick was the Shotzi, Emma Moon, Io, and Ripley. That was my pick in my prediction. And when I saw that, what's homegirl name again? Indy or something like that.
Indy Blackheart. Indy Hartwell, the helper. Yeah, I was like,
that
was
review, such a disappointment.
For those who could go back, I was like, I picked the other team. I picked team what is it? Team Candice LeRae. And I said it kind of at the end. I was like, I think the X factor might be it might be 5-on-4. I think Indy Hartwell, I know she was injured, but she helped out on the Wednesday before, and I'm like, she's not just gonna help just on Wednesday. She's also gonna help, I feel like, this one. So it was a good story.
It was.
But they've been building for this pay-per-view for basically Ember Moon came back. That was a good, basically, I think from the one before Halloween Havoc. So Ember Moon returned. Then you had Toni Storm also returning and turning heel, which is great. I feel like that what NXT needed. But imagine all those people that were in the cage are contenders for Io Shirai.
They are.
Which is crazy.
The one that came out more on top is Raquel. Raquel is the one who pinned our champion, and instead of focusing on the champion, she's going to be focusing now on Ripley, if you guys been up to par with NXT. So it's really interesting that instead of making Io more of a face, in the division, Ripley's still the star, regardless.
Yeah.
Is belt or no belt, is Ripley, and I'm glad that Raquel is going to have this push. I'm hoping, Ripley is willing to work with her and make her look good for Io in the near future, but it's definitely looking really interesting for the women division in NXT.
Yeah, and I think you even mentioned it for your review that they had a bunch of spots. Io Shirai went crazy when she put the garbage can over her and she dove. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I don't think that should be replicated. That should just stay as it is. It's like, it was amazing.
You got to keep in mind, Io Shirai is like the Kofi Kingston in Royal Rumble. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to War Games, because you never know what type of like crazy stunt she's going to pull. Remember last year, she did a freaking moonsault from the top of the cage, and it was like beautiful. During, I think it was Halloween Havoc or in your house.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? She does these stunts. So when I see Io Shirai in any type of stipulation match, all I could think of is like she's going to do something freaking extreme, and she did not deliver. It was kind of whack. I'm not gonna lie, the trash bin, it was kind of whack, but it was a little bit extreme. So I got to give her props for that.
The only thing I didn't like about this War Games, I like that the team that they had was good, but I feel like they had no women's championship contender or defending. There was no cruiserweight. And there was also no tag team. And it's just like, okay, I know the focus was War Games itself, but it's just like you have 3 titles are not being defended. And it's just like, it was kind of tough. But I'm like, I guess they had to, because I know that they have a lot of injuries and stuff. But it was just like I was just missing out on the title just to make it more, kind of not more important, but it's War Games.
Well, if we transition to the next match, we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher. Both are previous champion in respective division. And like you said, we didn't have Finn Balor, we didn't have defense for the women's championship or the tag team. So they did brought some A+ player in a sense to work with a C or B level player, and I think that match was pretty well done. You know what I'm saying? They really work well together. I like the technical moves that they pulled throughout the match. And like we predicted, Ciampa did came out with the W, which was more sad. That brought more satisfaction. For the event.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like there was the battle of the gatekeepers. I feel like everybody who's trying to make it to any title picture per se, they have to go through these people. So which is good, but I feel like Tommaso, this was like a tune-up match for eventually going for the title. I don't think the title picture is looking crazy how it is now, but I feel like eventually he'll get it. And Thatcher, I feel like he should focus on the North American. I feel like he could get it.
Well, talking about the North American, I mean, that was one of the match for War Games where it was a triple threat match between Johnny Gargano, Priest, and the previous champion, Leon Ruff. I was hoping Ruff was going to be able to obtain the belt, you know what I'm saying? But my gosh, Austin Theory being involved in this? Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah, I was expecting somebody else. And I'm like, yo, I feel like if he keeps doing this, I hope he like recovers from this, but I feel like he's been stuck as like a follower. And the couple of times he's been in a group, it hasn't fit in. He was with Selena Vega, that didn't work out. He was with Seth Rollins, that didn't work out. Let's see if he's now with Gargano, that works out, but I don't know how that's going to look.
Well, keep in mind, I'm not sure. I don't recall much of why with the Selena stable it didn't work well. Okay. But I do recall with the Seth Rollins had to do with the accusation that he was dealing with outside of the ring. So that was a really big impact. And unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, it's like you said, he is definitely placed more of a supporter type of role than a phase of main focus. So with Johnny Gargano, what I'm hoping to see with the way now is I'm hoping that we get a tag team belt for that stable in the near future, if it's possible. But if not, I mean, like War Games, that match, it was okay. Not the greatest, but it was okay. It was just a little shock to see Austin Theory join in Johnny Gargano. That I think that was the biggest surprise.
Yeah, I was expecting somebody else because I know since Austin Theory came back, between him coming back until basically last Sunday, they had a couple of recruits come through. So I was hoping that would have been a good time for the new recruits. Most of them came from Evolve. And I was expecting somebody, most of them, I feel like they're already polished to be enough on TV. I was expecting the former Evolve champion or somebody else to partake in this. But it's Austin Theory. Let's see what happens. I know he's trying to, reintroduce himself into everything, because he was winning at first, then he went, then everything happened. So maybe his image might clear out. I thought, even Velveteen Dream, I even thought maybe he could have been part of, you know what I'm saying? Maybe of that, because he that's something that he lost. So I was hoping somebody of that, but it's Austin Theory. So I'm like, all right, whatever. That continues since.
I mean, if we want to talk about a little shocker too, I think it was maybe depending on when this is being aired. A week or two on main event, freaking Ryder is now with Elias. It's
That's
like
crazy. Yeah.
Okay, like another shocker, because like out of all people to try to build or bring back, we're going to bring out like people who have been in trouble with like accusation and like being culture canceled too. It's just like wow, like
but what's also going I feel like I don't want to be too stereotypical about things, but I feel like WWE, especially for him, took kind of like out of sight, out of mind, because they took him for a while out of TV. So I was like, okay, so we forgot about him. Then we have him coming back. So I don't know. I feel like WWE recovered from other things. We had like other controversy. We had the whole Hogan situation. He came back. He was forgiven. Then we had the Lars Sullivan drama. He left, came back, and now we haven't seen him in a while. But there's a lot of things going on, especially like I guess will be things outside of the scope of work that they've allowed them to continue in the show. So I feel like if they have nothing crazy that I feel like they could always come back, but them being canceled by the culture, I feel like it was good to be out of sight of mind for a minute, because so people could, finish. Because I feel also everything when he said it was at the prime of everything, election and everything. So I feel like that's done for. I feel like people are not more forgiving, but it's just like, and it also main event, people don't watch that often. So that's a way to introduce him back into the fold.
Yeah. Not for it to be like the main focus of the conversation. It was more like a sidebar, but it's just shocking of like how WWE works. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the election was I don't think people are going to be that forgiving. You know what I'm saying? But if he is able to deliver a good package in the near future, then I agree with your statement. But for now, it's like, please do not bring him anywhere near the main show for a long, long time. Because for me, it's just like this guy, I don't see no hope for. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it is what it is.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
And lastly, we had kind of taking things.
Wait. Don't forget about the Dexter Lumis match.
Oh yeah,
sorry. Grimes.
The strap match, Dexter Lumis, and that was. I feel like it was okay. I feel like I think I picked Cameron Grimes for that one. I just wanted him to be done with this feud. I feel this is a good way to be done how it ended, but this was kind of a follow up of what we saw in Halloween Havoc, because it wasn't continuous. So I feel like this is a good way to be done with this, but I think it's gonna continue.
It's going to show us that things are may elevate in a bit for. I think you said it in your prediction is like we could see a more level up for each competitors. You know what I'm saying? We could see Lumis being more of a challenge for the North American, alongside with you mentioned one and his name just escaped, Priest, I think you said, or Austin Theory, to focus on the belt, and then Grimes in a sense could try to either go for a tag team or could go for a more of a face time, more TV time in NXT, so people could start to love him and enjoy his presence.
Yeah, and I'm also kind of like side note, I'm also surprised that like if you think about it, everybody, not 90% of NXT are under 205 pounds, so they could go for the cruiser. Like there's no cruiserweight anything. You know what I'm saying? Like Gargano, I don't think it's not a downgrade, but I feel like Gargano has won the NXT. He's won the North American. The only thing he's missing is the cruiserweight. He could be a Grand Slam sort of in NXT. I feel like it could be competitive, because I feel like nobody, because nobody, even Ciampa as well. He's I think 203 or 201 or something. They said it on War Games. I'm like, that's a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
So it's just like they should just like be in the mix just to make it more, especially for that division, make it more interesting. Because I think that division will only have like 4 people, and
interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Like Drake Maverick. Okay, then we have Scott, Jake Atlas. Who else? I think that's about it that we've seen.
Escobar.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Everybody else that's with Escobar is a cruiserweight, but they with him. So unless they turn on him, so it's not being utilized.
Leon Ruff.
That could be a good for him, especially for that one.
Oh yeah, because like I think a way you could really push him even further, and he does need the money for the wedding now that he proposed to his fiance. Cruiserweight definitely looked good for him as well. So NXT definitely have a lot of great possibility for us for 2021. We just gotta see how the cards are going to be played. You know what I'm saying? So. With that being said, let's go into it. The final one, like who was it? How it went?
The Undisputed Era. The era continues. I feel like that we haven't seen the turnover of a new leaf, but so we have Undisputed Era against Ted McAfee. So McAfee, it's Birch, Lorcan, Pete Dunne, and Pat McAfee. So it was good. McAfee impressed me. He's getting better. I know he's just been doing spots, but I feel like he's he's earned my, I guess, my trust as for him as being a competitor.
You took the hat for him?
Yeah, instead of like being a cameo or some certain spots. But I feel like he, especially a match of this, I guess, hardcore match inside a cage, I feel like he gave it his best, especially the spot that he did, that he was a moonsault. It was great. So I wanted Pat McAfee to kind of like get rid of Undisputed Era, and we kind of from there to continue over to for them to go to Raw, SmackDown, or whatever, or disband. But
that was the vision.
Yeah, I guess the Undisputed Era continues. So
it's not a disappointment, but it's just not too satisfying that we're not going to see Undisputed Era in the red or the blue brand anytime soon. Maybe it's like what Gargano and Ciampa once said in an interview. It's like, you know, NXT is like competing and it should be respected in the same level as SmackDown and Raw. So it definitely showed that, you know, NXT is still willing to work with some solid people. And once they have like a new foundation for NXT, then, you know what I'm saying, they could start to let go. And especially Royal Rumble coming in January, we might see that change because, like, again, those who are watching NXT, we saw the return of Finn Balor, and we also heard the announcement that Cross is back from injury, and he took out Priest.
Yeah.
And then not only is Finn Balor back, but he also have O'Kelly, he has Pete, and he also have I think it was Ciampa going for the belt. I don't think it's Ciampa.
I think it was Damon Priest, Pete Dunne, and Kyle O'Reilly. Then you had Cross coming at the end. But even those top four people, Priest, that's crazy. Yep. So that Fatal Four, I think I don't know who. I want Karrion Kross to win it one more time before he moves on.
Yeah, I think so too. Because
he needs to.
I think Kross will be more beneficial for Raw or SmackDown compared to Undisputed Era, Johnny Gargano, and Ciampa, because they have, they have time. You know what I'm saying? They are veterans. They're. I don't think they're willing to give up their spot that easily, knowing that they're in a good area where any chance of the day they could build up a new story. Yeah. And if Triple H and Shawn Michaels and the other production team are down with it, they'll be like, yeah, let's roll with it. And, you know, they'll have that trust. Karrion Kross, I think he's going to be more popular once he's in like red or blue.
Yeah,
hopefully blue, because the Roman Reigns story could use a little bit more.
They need a monster over there. Because you took everybody out. Basically, all the monsters are in Raw. Yeah. You have like Braun Strowman, The Fiend. So there's really no threat, basically.
And we have not seen Lars in a while.
And nobody's going to miss him. Not for nothing, but nobody's...
I mean, like, I mentioned him, but it's not like I'm thinking of him. But it's like SmackDown does need that type of edge. And if Karrion Kross and his wife could join that'd be dope. That would be fire.
And she could also... When she was in other companies, MLW and other companies in the indies, she's a good wrestler, per se. So she could add also to the women's division. So it's interesting mix between everybody. So he could be basically not the Fiend, but he could be what the Fiend is on Raw. He could be kind of like that in SmackDown, and like do a lot of brain games and like mess with people. And I think he could, especially take down the head of the table. I think Roman Reigns. That should be interesting.
Well, talking about head of the table and leadership, and one thing we are hopefully, and it's really finalized, is the Undertaker. You know what I'm saying? They gave a big tribute to his legacy, 30 years, pretty strong. And I'm really hoping for the final time going to miss him, because when
I saw it, that was basically the ending of Survivor Series. That was the great way to end a pay-per-view. I was watching it. Yeah, Kane. He just stayed in character, which was hilarious. Yeah, but I feel like when I was watching it live, the ending when Paul Bearer got they did the 3D, that almost like got to me. I was like, oh, tear. I was like, no, but it was good. And I like that the Undertaker now he's opening up and talking, because basically think about it, you have to be in character for 30 years and be mysterious and not talk. I don't know if he's a talker. Well, he seems like a talker. He's done a lot of interviews, but I feel like now that the Undertaker veil got like broken, I guess now you could see him as him. He's got the Undertaker persona, but I feel like now he could share his experience and everything about the business to a point.
I mean, like, I'm not sure how much he could have talked when he was the American Badass.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But it is nice to get more insight of, like his first matches when he appeared in Survivor Series back in it has to be 1990.
Yeah.
Then you got to consider like his first championship win, working with Kane, working with Triple H, working especially with Shawn Michaels. The story, his real. I really want to hear his thoughts on how he really felt when Brock Lesnar broke the WrestleMania record.
I think they did when he did the interview with Stone Cold, the second one. The second one, he talked about the record because the record wasn't a thing until he did basically 110. Then from 10 on, that's when the record became a thing. But I like that. I think the second one that he talked about the record, he talked about Ric Flair, kind of like there's some spots that they had to like redo, and he told Flair, I'm like, you ready, kid? And he had to redo the spot. He talked about the Brock Lesnar thing. He didn't like that Brock Lesnar was the one because he didn't need it, which is true.
That's
Brock
right.
Lesnar didn't need basically to be the one to break the record, but things happened in the ring. I think he got hurt. He mentioned that he got concussion, he got injured, so he had to like change the spot at the end. But I'm surprised the one that he said that he was more willing to give the spot to was Roman Reigns, which speaks a lot. I think I'm like, so that means Roman Reigns. Value. Yeah, I feel like Roman Reigns didn't like Brock Lesnar made himself. Roman needed that extra push, which is kind of interesting. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I appreciate the ones that they make themselves. Like Brock Lesnar, he like went, but Brock Lesnar, it's a monster. But in the same thing, I think on the first one, they talked about Randy Orton also that he helped make Randy Orton a little bit when he started calling himself as the Legend Killer. So I like that, like you get to see the story behind the story that we saw, like the thoughts and like the thought process about everything, which was pretty cool. Like
I have to listen to that podcast personally because I really want to hear more in detail of what you just broke down to us in the audience, because honestly, it gets to greatly show that, there's so much that we don't know about the business that once it comes to light by a person that has 30 years of history built in his mind and it's flowing slowly little, it's gold, baby. It's gold. And I'm really happy for him. But one person I'm kind of shocked that he's 8 years older than Goldberg and decided to join an 8-year contract with AEW is the return of Sting. I am flabbergasted. I am shocked. I have no idea that a man of his age dares to still be in character and said that he is now going nowhere but AEW.
I feel like the AEW needed something to go over the Undertaker thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if not like a
interesting
comeback,
point.
I feel like the Undertaker took like when Survivor His Series ended, Undertaker finale, then Undertaker basically took over everything. Social media, merchandising, news, WWE, everything. So I feel like AEW needed something to combat that, like be reacted to the Undertaker thing. And I feel like Sting coming back, since we never saw Sting and Undertaker, it's not. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But AEW had to be proactive just in case WWE was like, let's make this a one-off. You know what I'm saying? Like how they did with Goldberg.
Yeah.
So I like that the AEW was proactive, and I feel like this. I think Undertaker himself mentally, he's already like retired. He's done.
Yeah.
But I think since he has more not characters, but he was American Badass, and there was other things that himself other than the Undertaker, I feel like they could also always call him back to do something else. Like Mankind could be 3 other people, and like Rick, you know what I'm saying. So I think they probably could always call him back and use them kind of to bump up ratings, kind of what Sting did for AEW.
Yeah, so I'm hoping again, Undertaker does not show up at all unless if he's doing some special event like like a pay-per-view. That's the only time I would like to see a video program from the Undertaker. But with Sting though, Sting has made a commitment of nearly, I think it's 8 years with AEW, and it seems that he's on the side of working with Darby in a sense, the way how it when he first appeared in AEW, it seems like he's willing to work with the face of TNT in the Icon. I mean, that's a beautiful stable that's may or may not bloom. I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
But it's just really interesting to see what else can Sting offer to the company, because is he going to work with like older people like Billy Gunn, you know what I'm saying? Is he going willing to work with like someone who's a little bit his size, like Miro?
I don't think that's the for me. I think that'll be, if I was managing Sting, I would not have him even bother with Miro. Miro, it's like a whole different monster. I think for me, everybody AEW, they basically are focusing on teams at the moment. Teams and coaches, sort of. So you have Tully Blanchard with FTR, Cody, and everybody. So I feel like he's gonna basically mentor Darby, which you mentioned, and I think eventually we might see some type of feud with him and Cody.
Okay, so I'm not too fond of the feud with him and Cody, to be honest with you, because it's something that it's like I think it's kind of selfish of Cody to be taking all of the legends, you know what I'm saying, in his attention, in a sense. I mean, like when I was mentioning names, right? Yeah. I'm just thinking about like if they willing to put Sting in the ring once again at his age, you know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people in AEW that will be able to match his body type or some of his skills.
We could see Taz, but Taz basically put to sleep Cody. So Taz,
that was just a stunt. You know what I'm saying? That was just a flex.
We see Arn Anderson do a couple of signbusters, a couple of spots here and there. Tully, the same thing. He's been he's hit people with weapons and stuff. Same to Jake the Snake. So they involve in matches, but I feel like Sting still has. He's not like a flashy wrestler. He's more like ground and pound and very like slow and methodical. So I feel like him and Cody will be good because Cody doesn't do too much. Him and Cody, Dustin Rhodes and Sting, that'd be interesting. Him and Taz, or if they do like I don't think Jake the Snake. I don't think so. He's a maybe, but I feel like that's what I wouldn't mix him with anybody else. Even with him and Darby, maybe they have a feud between the two. The only thing I have to be for me, I would say, be careful about the coffin drop. I don't know how that spot is gonna it's gonna hurt. But besides that, I feel like him and Matt Hardy.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Jericho.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Jericho. I feel like they using him to boost people up. I feel like eventually we might see that.
Sting is there to boost up people up as well. I mean, like who else is much of a booster?
That wouldn't be bad. All Out, Sting. All Out next year. Jericho Sting, the cover like.
That would be a nice cover. I would definitely be interested in buying that.
But it has to be Jericho, the Painmaker. That
from New Japan?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Paint the face and everything against Jericho, against Sting.
He could probably, but again, like wrestling in all has definitely been evolving. You know what I'm saying? Because not only we're seeing the retirement, hopefully again, the retirement of The Undertaker, the coming back of Sting, but now we have Kenny Omega being the heavyweight champion, and not only being the heavyweight champion, he is no longer the garbage man or whatever
was the cleaner.
The cleaner.
He is the cleaner. Man. Yeah.
Now he's the collector.
Yes, you know I think,
and it's like, dude, that's like, what?
Because you mentioned Cody's not. I feel like AEW. Not saying they greedy, but AEW
I say
has
he's selfish.
So they have to. I feel like AEW has to be selfish, because if you think about it, it's basically it's made by the people for the people. So you're creating a program by fans / wrestlers for people that enjoy wrestling.
Yep.
So it's might be a different, I guess, direction than somebody being kind of like the head. And we saw like in its counterpart WWE that you have somebody making, and everybody's kind of like being not puppeteering, but like he makes a program and tells you what to do. So I feel like I think we talked about this in episodes before that eventually we're gonna see basically the CEO and basically the executive board take over everything at some point. So we had the Young Bucks, we have Kenny, we had Cody.
That's true.
So
We had
almost
Cody.
everybody had their chance or title in it. We had Jericho, we had Young Bucks, we had Cody twice at TNT. And
Chris
even
Jericho
he was like, oh, I'm not going for AEW, but I'm going to make my own title, not have it ready, then win it twice. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, so eventually everybody basically, this phase, I feel like it's going to end. But everybody in that executive board had their like name in history for AEW.
They do, and they did it right in a sense because they waited a year for them to be able to now put in their name in the history book. What I'm worried about 2021 with AEW, right? And now they're getting Impact involved is like how much can you offer?
And also NWA too. They made some partnership. Not officially, but they brought people in and they share people.
Okay, so now we have like these three triads, right? And we're seeing that they're working one way or another. Are by any chance 2021 we might see such a big event that might overshine what a big pay-per-view like WrestleMania from WWE? You know what I'm saying? Because it's
I think we could see something like that.
It's really interesting how they're just like bringing certain players in play. And now that Impact is now involved in this, the possibility of championships and players showing up on AEW like is mind-blowing because remember, one person that we thought that was going to join AEW went to Impact Wrestling, and now that the heavyweight champion of AEW is going to Impact whenever the freak he wants, it's like,
and nobody who's gonna tell him what to do. Tony, he's part owner of nobody's. Technically, Tony he does the checks, but nobody besides that, nobody could tell him what to do. Nobody.
There is the conjunction and all the legal stuff.
But that promo was great because technically, Tony could literally buy Impact. They have enough money to be like, I'm buying this show. Tomorrow is gonna be Dynamite. Like dark.
Okay, so hear me out, right? What if there's a possibility that promo that they paid for was just, of course, it was flexing because they were just flexing of like, hey, this is what we could do. He was here for a day and then left wrestling for 18 years. But what if this is more of a trial run? You know what I'm saying? For Tony Khan to see if I'm able to get more audience in Impact Wrestling, right? And numbers show good usually in business, you're looking at every quarter. In every year, quarter is about 4 months. So in 4 months, if he could see that number is progressing on all ends, NWA, Impact, and AEW, I feel like the man is about to make some major move if no one jumps in and intercept the buyout. And the one person that comes to mind is Vince McMahon. If Vince McMahon doesn't step in and try to buy out NWA or Impact in some crazy way, who knows? I don't know all the legal stuff, but Tony Khan could definitely be a powerhouse person for 2020.
And also adding to your theory, you know what 3 months from now is, right? WrestleMania time. So
4 months. Yeah.
But it's around Mania season. So we could see. I could honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing them, especially NWA, AEW, and Impact, do kind of what ECW, Raw, and SmackDown did, the one night stand situation, and have a battle of the three, and maybe have not a briefcase, but do a open-ended contract, like a battle royale or something, Royal Rumble or some type of like elimination situation. Whoever wins it could challenge anybody of the three, which should be interesting. You know what I'm saying? That could be fun. But I've seen I've seen what is it? So we had we had Kenny at Impact on Tuesday.
Yep.
I think also Brian Pillman Jr. I think he might have a match against Eli Drake, the champion of NWA. So I feel like they sharing people, which is good for the business. So you bring like eyes to everybody. But I don't know. I feel like I'm saying I've seen this coming, but I feel they need to do something collectively. They could beat the big, like basically a WWE. Individually, they could make a dent. But I feel like if you want to take over the business, you need to take WWE down. So the only way I feel like collectively you could do it. Separately, it's going to be more difficult, especially the nights that they're feuding.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a great saying: "The enemy of the enemy is my friend."
Mm-hmm.
And if they are willing to coexist just for that one great purpose, that's great. Again, if Tony Khan see that numbers are working beneficial for the two other companies, I feel like he might probably going to start buying them out little by little and be able to like bring it all into one pieces. Because again, we have Impact on Tuesday, right? Mm-hmm. AEW is dark on Wednesday,
but they're totally dark, so you could move people from dark to Impact.
But let's just talk about the big schedule. Mm-hmm. NWA is what
on Tuesdays, I think.
A Tuesday. Well, so let's say they're able to pull a Thursday or Friday with TNT, because we see that when basketball start on Christmas. 2 days before Christmas, the 23rd, they have two special, the 24th and the 25th. And one of them, I think it's Snoop Dogg too, being a special guest. So it's letting you know that.
But Snoop Dogg in AEW or Snoop Dogg WWE?
No, Snoop Dogg in AEW.
Oh, so he's kind of adding to that kind of side note.
Before you do, I know where you're going.
Yeah.
But
okay, sorry.
It's final thoughts right here. It's going to be really interesting to see that TNT might consider of like, hey, if Tony Khan is able to buy them out, then we could offer him these 3 days, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, depending, how the basketball season go, and make money.
Yeah.
Who knows? The end.
Yeah, so let me put the Snoop Dogg situation to the side for a second.
Okay.
So Access TV, so it's a different channel. It's for Impact. So I feel like I think they had a contract and stuff. So that could be a contract itself. So you could, let's say if everything goes as we are like conspiracy theory projecting and saying, possibly you could move AEW Dark, which is a YouTube pre-recorder YouTube display. You can move that audience onto a TV show and fill the time.
Ooh.
So you already have like a network itself, so it could be nationwide. I know YouTube it is, but you're trying to bring out especially to that network.
Yep.
Dark, AEW Dynamite, TNT. I think that might stay there. Especially they only compete with NXT. NXT, I feel like they need to either. It's difficult with travel and stuff. If it gets tough, either Tuesday or bring NXT UK to fortify their roster. But I feel like right now it's difficult. But I feel like what they have it's good, but it's not enough. They haven't broken anything over 700, 800,000 views.
No.
100,000 viewers. On Thursdays, they could even take the middle of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for NWA. So it's all together. It's been doing great. I feel like they don't. I'm not saying they don't even need to purchase stuff, but I feel they just should see how they coexist together, especially with sharing talent and stuff. And I feel like this move.
You are a gambling man. Not to put your business out there, okay? But like in characteristic, you are a gambling man, and you know if there is a chance that you could hit the jackpot, you know what I'm saying? What was wrong of taking the risk? You know what I'm saying? And for Tony Khan, what is him risking purchasing these companies in 4 months?
And also, like, him and his father, they're billionaires. They got money. And they also, not for nothing, not to any Jacksonville fans, whatever, that team's not that good. And they invested a lot of money towards a team. So they got money to burn. So they could invest in something that has been on for wrestling for over 50, 60, 70, 80 years that could leave a legacy for that family 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years from now on. So let's see what they decide. I feel like the best thing at the moment might be collaborative. If those end up buying it, great. But then if they start buying stuff, they need to figure out the belt situation and money and people's contract and stuff. So that's something, something different. The Snoop Dogg situation, going back to it. I was reading that so Survivor Series, Undertaker retired, merchandising, everything went crazy. Then there was, I think, a couple of merchandising with Snoop and The Undertaker together. I was reading that they removed some of the merchandising because of Snoop Dogg's future endeavors with AEW. So I don't know if that 2 and 2 coincide, but it's just like kind of crazy how WWE, not being petty, but it's just like, okay, we made our money, but you go into with our competitor, we're taking all your stuff out. So that's like pretty funny and interesting how the business
but
is.
keep in mind that he still has royalty. I
True.
remember Moxley said it in an interview, is that I think he said it with the Jericho podcast. He said that if in China they sell one of his matches, when he was, Dean Ambrose, he still get 10 cents to every sale purchase. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. So for Snoop, he has not lost anything because he still has that royalty. And if WWE, by any chance, sell it all that, let's say they sell it all that shit to Africa, you know what I'm saying? He's going to get his African money. You know what I'm saying? He'll convert it, bring it to the U.S. or leave it in the motherland and still be balling. Snoop Dogg, I think what he did was that he saw an opportunity to see that, hey, WWE is not being too friendly to like outsider like they were before. So why not work with someone who is outside, who is willing to work with me, a person that I work with at some crazy, game show. You know what I'm saying?
That I haven't seen it, but I gotta give it a look. What is it?
Why?
The one with Cody. It's
the one with Cody. So it's like, why not, show some love to my co-host so people know who I am, or them familiarize who I am, and then build up our shows, hopefully for them to get another season. Because again, everything is business-wise. You know what I'm saying?
Think about it. He's been relevant for the past 30 years. I don't know how he's been doing it, but
not wrestling related.
No, but like
when
music.
But check this out. Well, music, yes, but remember when this whole pandemic started, it was called the Corona. You know what I'm saying?
And the commercials.
He did the Corona beer. It was
so
wow.
Just even this year, so that commercial, he's been doing a thing with Martha Stewart, which is crazy. Like you never put 2 and 2 together, but they make it work. Then you even had the fight, the Mike Tyson fight. He was a commentator, and he was great as a color commentator for that like boxing match.
And he was able to pull freaking Mayweather to fight this Logan Paul kid.
Like
if this is really happening,
it is gonna. I guarantee it's gonna happen. I'm putting money to that.
Yo, he is truly Snoop God. That's just crazy if he's able to pull this stuff. But go ahead.
Yeah, so what else? Oh yeah, so kind of talking about celebrities. Shaq made his appearance once again yesterday. And I like the promo. Kind of funny at the end, but him kind of apologizing.
It was
to
unnecessary,
Brandy.
The water.
Yeah, but it was just but Shaq sold that it was. I think that kind of made it like fun. Shaq is being Shaq. It's just funny. But Jay, she's gonna be trouble in the AEW. Not in a bad way, but like she's gonna be like a top.
Her alliance
player.
is in the right spot. Her alliance with
Vicky
Gay and Nyla Rose, it's accordingly. And now if they get Diamante and Homegirl, Ivelisse to join this women's stable, my God. Yo, you guys don't understand that one of the biggest reasons why I'm a big fan of AEW, it's not because much of the superstars, it's most of like how they are combining pieces that you never thought it would work, but it's working. You know what I'm saying? Now Vicky does not have one strong arm. She has 2, soon to be maybe 4 under her belt. And we was roasting her all last season about it, and now she's like a threat. Yo, imagine this, right?
Think about it. That's basically the female inner circle.
Yeah, no, but imagine this. Remember how in the Pirate of the Caribbean, I think one of like all the great pirates leaders, they were all around the table. Imagine if they pull a scene just like that and Vicky's on the table. You know what I'm saying?
But think about it. This is the female inner circle, bro.
Don't call it the inner circle.
Listen,
call it the Cougars.
Jericho was Vicky.
Something else.
Jericho was Vicky. You have the two Latin, Diamante and Santana and Ortiz.
You know, proud and powerful.
You have your powerhouse, which would be Nyla Rose. That's Jack Hager, and not Sammy, but your extra person. All the powerhouse. So you basically you have Wardlow and Jack Hager. You have Nyla Rose and
Rose.
That's crazy.
We're soon to be close seeing a similar war game or a Survivor Series in AEW real soon.
Yeah,
because the way how
destroyed. Like if they do that, the heels are taking over. Because there's no babyface in there that could handle them.
No, it's not even much about the babyface. It's like, let's think more realistic, more outside of just the creative side. You know what I'm saying? Business-wise too, if they're able to pull off a great show to compete with War Game and Survivor Series, they could really take over the 18-34 age group even more.
They did this week. It was their ratings are crazy. I think, give me 1 second. Their ratings are, so this week AEW was 995,000, almost 1 million views.
Shout out to Shaq and Sting.
And I know that I guarantee you, if we go back, that's probably why the ratings went up. NXT
also Y2J, don't forget that.
And NXT did 660. So not even close.
And
that's Finn coming back. You had Karen Cross coming back. Like, you had people returning kind of the aftermath of War Games, and they didn't even like break out as their average.
But they didn't bring like big powerhouse, stars.
Yeah.
To like AEW, and that's the fun part about AEW is like we could see more stars align and shine for this company. Guys, we could talk about this all night, but I'm just really happy that in wrestling in general, things are developing pretty well personally. And this other story we could be talking about, the MJF versus Cassidy,
True.
the 3-on-3.
I want to get your opinion before we head out. We talked about this probably during the summer. Those could go back. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Is Abaddon the next champion?
Who?
Abaddon
being the next champion? Possibility.
Possibility. Yeah, she's being programmed perfectly, but even we talked about it, even we like forecasted this like months ahead. It was like, oh, Abaddon could be a main player, then she disappeared for a little bit. Now she's coming back, and Irakushi that she got her hands full for against her.
I mean, like, can I see a title change with Abaddon? Yes. Is it hopefully happening soon? Please make it happen, because Shida, I think she already did her time. You know what I'm saying? Being the leadership role, but it's time for us to see a different phase. And I wish Abaddon would have joined more of the Dark Order, because because I feel like that's going to fill in her style. You know what I'm saying? A little bit better compared to other. You know what I'm saying? Other stable that AEW has established. You know what I'm saying? I think her, Taya, and
I think it's Anna
Jay. That's 3. You get one more. Trust me, we could have a 3-way stable War Game type of shit happen, and I'll be hyped to see that come true. I really be hyped.
True. I think we cover a little bit of everything. I will say congrats to Becky and Rollins for the kid. As well, Legan Ross, we mentioned it earlier too, but congrats to him. Basically, this whole month has been celebrations. And I just want to finish out with something. I got your thoughts about Abaddon being a champion. Kind of going back quickly, WWE. Can Lana win a title tag team? I think she's facing with Asuka. She's facing the tag team champions in TLC. Do you think they got what it takes for them to take it from them, or you think Lana is just gonna be Lana?
It all depends, and I want to talk more in detail on the next episode when we get closer to TLC. But it's a possibility.
I will go put to be continued for those follow on to the next one.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, all right. I think we cover everything. Cool.
So, as you guys heard, if you made it this far, thank you for sticking around with us. If you did not, then hey, you missed out on a great ending. Again, you know where to find us. We're on the YouTube, we're on the Facebook, we're on the Insta, we're on Twitter. The Providence Lucha Talk. Thank you again for everybody who's been supporting us when we was absent, and we're hoping to come up with a new scheduling that's going to be flexible for us to be able to accommodate and be able to continue this hustle. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys. Luisito, any final words from your end?
No, I would say make sure like, share, subscribe to all our social media. And we'll try to get something, I don't know, scheduling. I know it's been crazy, but COVID and life, but we're here talking wrestling, and we'll always be here talking about wrestling. Definitely.
So till this time, my name is Jay Aguila.
It's Luisito.
And we say peace.
See ya.